Welcome, guys, and welcome all to a new episode of 20 Minutes by Noco. And today it's about time we talk about the landscape of website tools. Framer versus Webflow, the debate we've all been waiting for. No, not really. But I think it's good, guys, to have a high level breakdown of why companies, SaaS companies, and in which stage they are better served by building their website in Webflow or when it's better for them to use Framer, the new and emerging design-focused tool. So I'm in the episode here with Daniel. Daniel is a Webflow developer at Noco, and I'm also joined by Leonardo, who is a designer at Noco and also quite well versed in Framer. So, guys,
Hi everyone.
hi guys, good to see you. Good to see you. So we are, of course, a Webflow partner, Webflow enterprise partner. We have been making our bones with Webflow since the early days, and we still love the platform a lot. They're shipping new features left and right. We got great support from their team, and it allowed us to help a lot of B2B SaaS companies, and to help them set them on a growth trajectory to constantly iterate and scale their website. And it's what we will continue to do because there's a lot we can do with Webflow and more to come. But of course, we always keep an eye on the market, and there's always new tools emerging. But a notable one is Framer, of course. It's actually a Dutch startup originally. They're still headquartered in Amsterdam. There's still lot of people working, Dutch people working there. We've been throwing that in the mix for some use cases, and we're enjoying it because Noco is a design focused agency. Because we got so well versed in Webflow and did more and more enterprise grade projects, it did become a bit dev heavy, I would say, which of course is great for people like you, Daniel. You love it. You love to get into the nitty gritty of things. You love to build custom stuff in Webflow. But Framer is refreshing in the sense that it's really design first. There's also limitations, of course, compared to Webflow. And I just want to hear from you guys, from the horse's mouth, really, what it's all about. Because we get a lot of questions from our customers. Hey, shouldn't I consider Framer for this website? Why should I? Why shouldn't I? So we're going to try and answer some of these questions. So first of all, and I'll let you guys pick who's starting this off. What are the main differences between Webflow and Framer? Just to break it down very simply.
Can I go then? Do you want to go?
Cool. You're welcome,
All
dude.
right. So basically, I think that the big difference of between Framer and Webflow is basically that Framer comes up to an environment really, really related to design. So we have everything, all the user interface is really, really similar, for example, to Figma. It's really something that is close by, let's say, to designer. It's something that we are, it's something really similar to all those tools that have been used to throughout all the years in design, for example, Adobe XD or Figma. Webflow, on the other hand, I think that if you're a developer, you might want to stick to Webflow more than Framer because it's really, dev, basically everything that is related to code, and you have a good CMS, a lot of really capabilities also for GSAP library, and you have a lot of things that's going on with Webflow, and it's I think that this is the big difference. It's just something more for designers and something, and which is Framer in this case, and Webflow is for maybe for developers.
And how does that translate to our customer group? Like what are the current limitations of Framer, for example? So what are the big advantages of Framer over Webflow, but what are the limitations?
I would say that for now, as it is, Framer is really, really good for quickly launch, let's say, a landing page. So it's something that is really, really quick as a tool. But as you said, I agree with you that it has basically its limitations. For example, I think that for CMS or for something that is way more complex, it's difficult to launch quickly. It's something that is really it's evolving right now. And Webflow, on the other hand, we have this tool that is really, really good at some things, has really, really good capabilities, but it's, I think, um, more difficult. It's difficult to handle for a quick launch, for example, for a landing page or something like that.
Okay. What is your take on all of this, Daniel?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty much on the same side. Like I think it's a Framer is really good when you're in, let's say you're a seed stage startup and you just like to get your MVP out there and have a nice landing page that looks professional, but at the same time it's not like something cookie cutter. So it's really designed first. And again, like if you were just a designer and you'd pick it up, it's very similar to how Figma works, and even that's why it's called Framer, because it works in a framing system. So it's great, but once you really start scaling, and as Leo said, and you need like a more complex CMS setup, I would say Webflow is the way to go, because you'd like to eventually have a component library that is reusable and scalable, that is modular. So basically, your component library should scale with your product or with your offer. And basically, inherently, Webflow is a little bit more modular because it works like on an inheritance system. So whatever you do on one instance will be inherited on the other instance. So let's say you'll have a rebrand. You can save certain brand colors and in an instance switch your branding. And this is where Webflow really shines. So with your offer and even with your branding, it could be easily updated.
And
So
and and how would you handle that, for example, when you have a Framer built website? Like, what are the obvious limitations when, for example, you want to scale your website?
get my website in scale. Oh,
Sorry?
scale. Sorry, I
Sorry,
understood
yeah,
kill
not,
my
not your
website.
website. I didn't even know you have a website. No, but like, for example, when you have a customer who has a Framer website and they want to basically scale their website, and as you mentioned, Webflow really shines with the component library and the
Yeah.
inheritance system. So what are the obvious limitations when you want to scale a Framer website at this stage?
Oh, yeah, got it. So basically, Framer's sort of component capabilities aren't that flexible. So let's say you wanted to have a more complex slider, maybe a testimonial slider or different products, or you'd like to, let's say we're talking about SaaS, you'd like to show different features or integrations, and you'd like to create like a filter as a slider. um, a Framer is going to give you a harder time um, making something really, really custom that is more user friendly. So I would, in that case, whenever something becomes, so shortly said, whenever something becomes more complex, I would already migrate it over.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers the question.
Well, I think it does. Leo, from a design perspective, or from your Framer experience, what do you say? What do you have to say about Daniel's take here? Is that the actual limitation that you would run in with Framer, or is it a too complex approach of this matter?
Yeah, I agree with that, Dan, actually. I would say the same thing. For scalability, yeah, I would say that for now, Webflow is the tool that is working the best in the market right now. Because yeah, of course, Framer it's something that came out from a prototyping
Yes.
application, basically software. So it's something that is still really, really new in the market. And I think that they are doing a really, really great job for really a lot of things, especially for my side because I'm a designer. But I think that for now, yeah, for scalability and some all the things that are related to um, changing things in the website, basically all the components and section and everything. I think that for now, the CMS of Webflow is way, way better for
Yeah,
now.
because that's the thing, right? And we've seen this multiple times with customers of ours. A good example is Edge Impulse. We started working for them years ago when they were still in their early, I would say, early seed stage. And we built a website. We designed the website. We built it in Webflow, and it's still the same website that we are currently working on today, right? So that begs the question. I'm very, very excited about the prospect of having such a design first tool as Framer, where you can super quickly launch something really fast and it's live.
Yeah,
Because SaaS startups need to move fast. But then, of course, the question is, what happens when your team grows? What happens when your site hits 100 plus pages? How do you keep structure? How do you keep sanity really in the long
yeah,
term? And that is a question that where it's basically speed versus I guess sustainability or scalability, because let's not underestimate speed. It's a hyper competitive landscape that our customers are competing in. So speed does have a place. Speed does have has an important place in how these companies need to compete. And I think that
definitely.
definitely Framer adds something to the mix here that we shouldn't just put aside. I think that there are startups and early seed stage companies that need to move extremely fast, nimble, design focused, intuitively, really. But then what happens when you scale? And how much of a hassle is it to migrate a Framer website to Webflow? That is, of course, also a question that comes to mind. Okay, let's just do a hypothetical here, guys. So if we talk to a customer and they are conveying their website needs to us, when would we advise them to go for Webflow, and in which specific event would we advise them to start in Framer? Can you paint that picture for me?
Um, yeah, so I
Dan will never paint that picture for a customer because he's such a Webflow fan. But
yeah, I'm way too biased, but I'd say whenever you're just launching your first MVP and you're trying to, let's say you're even trying to get more investors, or you're trying to get acquired, but you have a good product, go Framer. Like it's first. But let's say like the example that Ian just mentioned, Edge Impulse. So they already had sort of this enterprise outline, right? Like in edge AI, IoT, stuff like this. Like these are things, these are components that many other industries can benefit from. So this, if you know that you're gonna be very widely spread, if you have like a product that is more applicable, you're probably going to need to produce a bunch of pages, so different types of case studies or different types of let's say landers, and that are using some sort of the same component, and you'd like to, you don't want to like update them all individually. You want a some sort of a system where you can make bulk imports. So yeah, it's true. Framer is fast when you need to like really push it out first and create really clean and nice pages, and just you're good to go and you can go to your investors. But if I would say it also really depends on your product and your market approach, right? So again, widely spread, I would say, and like if you have the potential to be acquired, let's say how Edge Impulse got like integrated into Qualcomm, then I would say go Webflow, and it's really benefited them, and since that they didn't look back to Framer or anything.
No, of course, and Framer wasn't around. Okay, let's give you guys a statement, and I want to hear from Leo first, and then from Daniel. So Noco once was founded as a design-first agency for B2B SaaS, and the name Noco is derived obviously from no code. And the founder, Jelle, he was an early adopter of Webflow, and basically the promise of Webflow in the early days, and correct me if I'm wrong, was basically that you would get a no-code, low-code platform, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So ever since then, Noco has evolved. We've done a lot of projects. We've done a lot of technically complex projects as well. We still do those, enterprise grade as well. We're proud of that. But I do feel like we moved away a little bit from that early promise of being a fully design first agency with no code, low code tools to lighten the development load. That really didn't happen. And my statement here is, and please argue with me as much as you want, but that Webflow didn't really fulfill the promise of being a no code, low code platform. Would you agree with that or disagree with that, and why?
So kind of actually, because it's still something that is no code. I mean, it is something that is you just can't go with Webflow without knowing code, but I think that's you can just go with Framer with that. It's better if you know code. That's the point, I think, with Webflow. If you know how to code, I think that Webflow is really, really, really powerful, especially for animations. I'm talking as a designer here. For animation and everything, it's really, really a cool tool for now. But so I wouldn't say that it's not something that is not no code for now. Uh, but yeah, I think that Framer has reached a level that is really, really cool, actually. For
I mean, it really is.
I mean,
It really is, man. It's so into. I mean, for me as a creative myself, not a designer, but definitely
yeah,
as a creative, the intuitive nature of it, the fact that you can have a functional website, a functional visual website in no time, it is really appealing to me. And I know that there are limitations, right? I know scalability, we covered all of that, but the appeal is amazing to me. And what a lot of people don't know, what you already mentioned, they started as a prototyping tool. Actually, the guys from Eli 5 back in the day, our software studio, a sister agency, they played around with Framer in the very early days when it was still a prototyping tool. So making it instantly visual is something that is very appealing to me, and it feels very lightweight. It feels like you can be very light on your feet, aside
yeah.
from all the technical limitations that come later. But to go back to my question, and I want to hear from Dan now. Again, we had a promise at Noco: design first, lightweight development, no code, low code. Yet we're doing all these complex technical projects because enables us to do that, which is great. But it also means that it's still pretty dev heavy, right? I mean, if we're being honest, I'm not saying that's a bad thing because obviously customers have a need for it, but there are people who would have expected Webflow to go in a little bit of a different trajectory, which would be more, towards the no code, low code route, which simply isn't the case for Webflow. I mean, aside from launching a template, in Webflow, you can launch a website extremely quickly, and you could consider that no code, low code development. But in practice, with the sets of requirements that customers have for us, that's not going to fly. Um, and in that sense, throwing Framer in the mix at least gives us back a little bit of that, enables us to fulfill that promise a little bit more. But then, of course, we have to be very careful because the majority of the time we actually need Webflow. It's just an observation, I guess. It's not really a conclusion or anything, or a judgment, but yeah. How do you feel about that, Daniel? Because how long have you been working with Webflow?
Um, so I'd say about 6, almost 7 years I've been on the Webflow train. So
Man,
the thing is, like, I've been there back when they said, like, oh, without any code, and they had these really amazing commercials. Even, like, imagine that I don't know, like 80% of the word couldn't read or write, and then suddenly you just get a tool and you get access to it, and it's like magic, right?
wow.
It's the same thing. Like, you get this power in your hand where you can just create and launch a business so fast. And
Yeah,
I mean, it always kind of had some pre-made components, very simple components that you could customize. I would say the more of the promise is yes, it is no code. Technically, you still don't need to code for it. You can just drop in elements, but
yeah,
then you'll see that just dropping in without a system in mind, and you have to be aware of things. Um, you will hit some technical walls, and the same thing is going to happen with any tool. Like, even, let's say, even if you would vibe code, like, you could just say and prompt, like, create a navigation bar, now create a header section with an opt-in or something like that. You could always, like, but the more complex you go, the more you will realize, and the more things you add on, the more you will realize that you'll need to customize. And like, for you to be able to customize the most, you have to think like a developer. You have to be a systems thinker,
yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, and it's even like it came from the usage, like how all these companies, like I think HelloSign and all these, like, larger companies adopted it, or WeTransfer, like those were like the first really big, or Dropbox, the first really big enterprises. Um, they had these kind of necessities, and year by year, things are being added on that are just making these complexities easier. So I would say what Webflow is really evolving into, and you can see it from the last Webflow event, is like a collaborative tool. I think with the different roles that
yeah,
people are going to have in Webflow, it's going to change. So there are going to be this kind of like low level people that are like the dig in and create the systems, and then they're going to be the people who will handle the components. So we as developers, we will build the components, and then now what Webflow is coming out with is like a component canvas where you can see all your different components. So someone that, let's say, knows how to use Figma or Framer can easily pick those components and put things together and say, like, oh, okay, so I guess I see the canvas, I see the vision, I see, like, this is in our design system. It pairs up with our Figma design system or our Framer design system even. And I can create a new landing page without having to involve another developer in it. And it's going to update with our CMS and
yeah,
with our offer. So it's I think it's becoming a more layered tool with the more people get into it. And I think it's, for now, I don't see a better tool to grow a company with it right now, or
yeah.
grow a product with it.
Yeah.
If I had to summarize it in one sentence, would it be fair to say that Framer gives you momentum and Webflow gives you longevity?
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, longevity. That's the word to say.
What do you think, Leo? Are we missing something here? Like, is there a case to make for, like, are we missing certain elements of this discussion where for example speed negates limitations, the design first approach, the super visual intuitive orientation of Framer negates the limitations that we have been emphasizing?
Yeah. Well, I don't think that we are missing anything. In fact, I think that we have both as designers and developers, we have just these new two tools, right? Well, relatively new tools, and it's all matter of um, guessing and decide basically which one is better for which reality, which company, basically. Um, it's something that is really about the it's understanding basically the environment and the scope basically.
Yeah,
Um, I think it's something we just have these two tools, so they're both great. I mean, they're really amazing for for launching quickly and as well as scaling up with maybe uh, Webflow, CMS, and everything. So I think that is just, I think that here is the real core of a designer and developer or an agency is just to understand at a deep level these kind of things, which one is better. It's not just to stick to a tool or the other tool, is to really understand all the environment, which is constantly changing right now. um, all the basically landscape of tools, which one is better. Maybe from in 1 year we can talk we could talk for another uh, software which is, I don't know, let's say Lovable, which is really
right.
going well. I think that this is the real core of being a designer or a developer or a creative in general,
Yeah,
just to really understand the landscape.
absolutely. And I think those are great words to end the episode with. And I fully agree. And that's what we try to do with Noco, right? Not be dogmatic, even though we love Webflow. We're not dogmatic. We try to add new tools to the mix. We're also tinkering with Lovable. We're doing some early stage startup websites in Framer that need to move fast, where actually speed of the importance of getting live quickly is just much more important than any scaling or longevity argument. So I think great words to end the episode with, and probably also good to do more follow-ups regarding Framer, for example, but obviously also Webflow. To see how it develops and to talk about the use cases that we encounter in the field as we work through all the projects. Yeah, great episode, guys. Thanks for the input and to be continued. And thanks for the great last words, Leo. Very wise statements there. Daniel,
Thanks.
any last words from you?
I think I could just join in. Let's say in a year we'll see what other tools are gonna compete. I think the race is crazy. Like every day something new gets released. I can even
Yeah.
see Figma taking over Framer with Figma sites, the way they're
Yep.
developing it. So who knows? Like
Definitely.
it's exciting. So
It's
yeah,
what a time to be alive. No, it really is exciting. We're going to keep track of it. And thanks again, guys. And we speak soon.
Thanks, guys.
Don't forget to
see
like and subscribe this episode if you enjoy our content. Much more to come. Subscribe to the Noco YouTube channel, and we see you soon. Ciao, guys.